Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Preston and very grateful that you're here. I'm about to turn 40 this year and the past 10 years have gone by super fast for me. I was able to build not one but two seven-figure businesses, but it hasn't always been like that. And would love to kind of rewind a little bit and share with you a little bit more about who I am and why I created this channel and what my hopes are for it in case you're curious, but grateful for you to be here and kick off with my story. All right, so who am I? My name is Preston. I'm from the US, originally from the East Coast here. Grew up in New York, Boston, DC, and for a large part of my life, I honestly did not know what I want to do. I did what my parents told me. I did what society told me. Go to a good school, try to get a job at legacy industries. I tried working in investment banking, thought about consulting. I even went to business school and did graduate studies. And after that, guess what? Did I have it all figured out? I did not. I actually didn't know who I was, who I wanted to become, what I wanted to do with my life. In fact, I was more lost than ever. I was grateful to go to college and then business school, only to be careerless, had no money. I still met the love of my life, who became my wife now, but we were struggling big time. And so I know that when you clicked on this video and you want to see something super hyped up, talk about the good life, I'll get to that. But I also want to share with you that I'm just about to turn 40. I'm not these typical like 18-year-old kids or someone in the mid-20s having life figured out, making multiple 6-7 figures. I was the opposite. After grad school, went back to New York with my wife and I was applying for every single job you can imagine. So I went from marketing to investment banking. I even tried my own startup. Didn't even know what I was doing. That crashed and burned. I even tried one of those MLM things. It ended up being a pyramid scheme, which was horrible. But I take a silver lining in everything. Everything that I've done in my life has helped me become who I am. And whether or not it was a great experience or bad, I still try to take the silver lining and learnings from it so I can be better in the future. But with all those failed internships and jobs and my first startup, I knew one thing, that I wanted to do something people-oriented. I was captivated by the speed of sales. Failing and getting rejections at that time was nothing new to me. And so my wife and I decided to move out on our own, get a small like 1,500 square foot apartment, paying almost $2,000 a month. We couldn't even afford the heat and started applying for jobs. Weeks have gone by. I was applying for every single job I could. Guy in his mid-20s with a graduate degree, applying for entry-level degrees, getting turned down because I was too qualified. And so I found myself in quite a pickle. But then after perseverance and consistency, I started getting interviews. And I remember getting this one call back where I found this role on LinkedIn and it was for like a sales associate role. And I wanted to go into sales at that time. And I got a call back and I learned that it was a sales role at a recruitment company in New York. I had no idea what recruitment agencies were. I had no idea what recruiters were or staffing agency. I happened to be joining an award-winning recruitment company in New York City, had 300 recruiters nationwide, and they were looking for someone on a brand new team. And I'm like, wow, I like people, I like sales, I can understand what recruiting is, and I get to work with startups and tech. Sign me up. And so I was so grateful to start a salary in my mid-20s after business school, paying me $30,000 a year in New York City. I felt like the richest person alive. I was grateful that I was able to make my own path outside of my family and my parents, and I felt like the richest person. But I did tell myself one thing, that being one of the oldest people out of my peers, where I learned the hard way that these recruitment agencies, they hire entry-level people fresh out of college. So a lot of my peers were in their early 20s. I was in my mid-20s, but that didn't bother me because I knew one thing. It was to put my head down and learn as much as I could. And I knew that if I was able to perform, one thing I love about recruiting now, in retrospect, but also in sales in general, is that they reward performance. And if you're able to perform well, doesn't matter how old you are, you can double, triple, quadruple your income very, very quickly, and I can catch up to my peers. And so that's exactly what I did. For 1 year, I put my head down. I did 80 to 100 cold calls every single day until my year rang, and ended up in 1 year doing about 24 placements, which equated to about $500,000. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. Even crushed $100,000 a month from a 30K salary from someone who was lost and broken, had no direction. And to me, that was my golden moment where I fell in love with recruiting. During that process, getting emails and texts and calls of candidates I helped get jobs. Same thing from founders and executives that thanked me for changing and turning around their business, for finding an amazing rock star. It became addicting and thrilling, and I just became absolutely obsessed with the hunt. And so I became a student of the recruitment game, and in 1 year went from being one of the bottom recruiters to one of the top nationwide. It was one of the most fulfilling years of my life, until very quickly I realized I made the company over $500,000 and they continued to pay me only 30K. So at that point, I felt like I could have stayed longer and maybe learned a little bit more management and leadership, but I basically understood what a full desk recruiting job was, and I wasn't getting properly compensated for it. I was working my butt off. So then I decided to take the ultimate bet on myself, where I decided to be a solo recruiter, start my own recruitment agency. So my first business is an agency by specializing in recruitment. And if you're unaware what recruiters do, what recruitment agencies do, we're basically the corporate middlemen between people looking for jobs, the company companies that are hiring, and we get paid once you make a successful match. We're like the corporate matchmakers. And after learning everything for 1 year, I decided I have enough confidence and balls to make the ultimate bet on myself and do my own practice. And so that's what happened in 2015. And luckily in 2015, I worked hard, weekends, couldn't take vacations. My wife gave me her credit card to incorporate and sign up for the first couple tools because I was dead broke. And somehow, for the grace of God, I made over $524,000 in my first year, paid over $100,000 in taxes, which made me cry. But at that point, I'm like, you know what? I think I'm onto something, and I gave it my all. And then from every single year from then till now, I personally made between 500 to 800K net every single year, regardless now what my agency does, because it's a much bigger business, a much bigger team, and changed my life through and through. So it doesn't matter where you are in life, doesn't matter how old you are. I learned that as long as you can identify opportunities and take advantage of it and show up and be consistent and believe in yourself, life can change. But by all means, I was not an overnight success at all. I tried tutoring, I tried every single job I could until I fell into this recruiting thing. Now I'm running an agency where we do multiple 6 figures a month. I've done over $5 million in placements. I have a team of roughly 7 people and growing and expanding, and we're profitable every single year. Absolutely changed my life, and over the years invested a lot into the team and technology so I could have a life. But make no mistake, I promised myself when I started I was gonna take no days off, make no excuses, and unless I'm deathly ill, I'm gonna show up and make it happen, and that's what happened. Now along the way, I also decided to document my journey and across different platforms and channels and LinkedIn, and was starting to get a lot of inbound of people who were like, hey, can you help me? I wanna do the same thing, or I'm doing something similar and I'm struggling. And we decided about a year ago to launch our own consulting business, not because I had any plans, but the inbound was happening so often where I'm like, you know what, maybe there's something that we can do here. And we've been hearing a lot about people consulting with other recruiting professionals, so-and-so, and they're just being disappointed not getting results. And so it happened enough where that's why last year we're like, you know what, let's do something, let's make the best program that we can that literally teaches people what we do every single day. And that's the second business that we launched. So in my first recruitment business, I made $500K in my first year, my first 7 figures in the first 2 years. And in the consulting business, we did our first 7-figure year the first year, going twice the speed of my recruitment agency, and now calling myself just a multiple business owner, which is insane. And so here we are, the present day. I'm in the beautiful West Coast here. It's actually end of February where it's freezing and snowing in the East Coast. Not here. It is sunny and blue skies, you can see, and I love it. And recruiting has afforded me a lifestyle where we can move wherever we want to, do whatever I want, and really enjoy the life on my own terms. Our team is fully remote, so that allows us to stay at home, travel around the world, make great money, make great lifestyle, and keep going. And so why did I create this channel? Well, if you're wondering what I do more tactically, you can check out my other YouTube channel called Recruiter Preston. And this channel is more like behind the scenes, where you can get more of a glimpse of me, myself, my other interests, my other businesses that I like to work on, other things about myself, just take you along for the ride. And as I'm growing and going through this wild journey of life, I want to be able to share my advice and findings with you all. And that's why I created this channel. Raw, unfiltered, showing you my wins, showing you my losses, and just being myself, transparent and authentic as much as possible. I'm just one guy who chose not to give up, and as cliche as that sounds, it truly works. And so to go from me and my fiance in a small 1-bedroom apartment, couldn't even afford the heat, to now living this life with my little furry boy here, it's just absolutely glorious. So it's about to be March, it's a brand new year, got a lot of great plans, and I would honestly love nothing more to take you along for the ride. And so if you are checking me out for the first time, I appreciate it. You'll see my other vlogs and my other channel, appreciate it too. If you just want to get more of a raw, super edited look of one guy just doing his best and sharing his findings and documenting everything with you, came to the right place. Business, life, leveling up, positivity, optimism, and an overall attitude of just never giving up and having a relentless passion of doing what you want to do and fighting for it every single day. We have one life, so let's make the most of it. So I'm going to finish this walk. I appreciate you, and who knows what's in store for the next couple weeks and months. We will be here doing our thing. So appreciate your time, guys, and we'll see you on the next video.